guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video today. It is a super juicy video, so I'm going to give you guys all the details of what went down. Not clickbait, this actually happened. So I'm going to preface this with the time frame. So this is 2019, obviously, and this happened in 2014. So I was around, let me think, 22? Because I left my waitressing job in July of 2014, so I think I was 22. So yeah, I was moving, I was going to a new college, so I was leaving this job soon. I had like maybe 2 months left, so I was like out. Yeah, so I was working at this job. I was a waitress for about 2 years. Thumbs up if you were in food business or like any kind of retail industry, because that job sucks. It's rough, the hours are terrible, the people you deal with can be terrible, the people you work with sometimes can be weird, which is what I'm getting into and why this story is happening. It was kind of like a more casual dining experience. It was not fine dining at all. It was like a family restaurant. Oh, obviously not gonna say what it is, because even though this location is actually closed now, it closed down, I'm just not gonna disclose, because I also don't wanna like bring up the company, and I don't know. I just like to keep things a little bit private. But yeah, so this was like more of like a family place. It was definitely catered towards kids, so maybe that's like a hint, but not really. But it was definitely like a kid-friendly place. So yeah, there was the like dress code was disgusting. It was like these frumpy polos that you had to wear. Like at first you could wear cute polos, but then you had to wear like frumpy ones, and they were absolutely disgusting. No one looked attractive in them. Even if like I tried to do like my hair and makeup nice, but like I still looked like a hobo off the street after putting that shirt on. So this person that I got fired, I worked with previously at this job. So he actually started at this location when I first began working for this place. And he didn't stay there long because he was training actually to be a manager. So the training that he needed was going to be at another location, like maybe like a half hour away from the one I worked at. So I honestly briefly saw this person, and then he literally left. So 2 years later, he's back. So his training is done, obviously. He's been at the other location for a super long time. He's been working, you know, as a manager for a while now. So we were pretty understaffed, so they actually pulled him from that restaurant to our location just to kind of help with the whole staffing situation. So yeah, he began basically immediately. And like I said, this was like 2 months before I was supposed to quit. Or, let me try to think. Okay, so it was like 3 months away from when I left this job. So this happened in April of 2014. So started working closely with this manager. The days that I was working, he was on shift, so he was like the main manager, and there was like one other guy who was a manager, and he was actually my age, and we were friends. We would hang out sometimes. We were cool with each other. He was not a creepy person at all, but this other manager was. So I had something very tragic happen to me. I went through one of the hardest things you can go through in life. So it was a very touchy time. It actually happened while I was at work. Super traumatic, but you know, life goes on. You have to keep working. You have to keep going back to your job. It's not like you can leave the place where, you know, you find out something bad happens. It's just not how things work. So unfortunately, it was like a rough week. Some people said, you know, my condolences, you know, sympathetic word, you know, word of mouth. And this manager actually gave me a card, and he put his cell phone number on it. So the next day he wasn't actually in. So that night, like the day after he gave me the card, I texted him that next evening to say thank you. You know, you were the first person to actually give me like a condolences card. So I thought that was really, really sweet of him. So I wanted to reach out like right away. because I didn't know like when exactly he was gonna be on next. So I texted him, I said, thank you so much for the really sweet, heartfelt card. You know, I really appreciate it, because he put, you know, if you need anything, you know, don't hesitate to reach out. So I was like, thank you so much. And then he texted me back, and he, you know, started to initiate some different conversations. So like, you know, he's like, you're welcome, blah, blah, blah. So what are you doing? And I was like, oh, you know, just like, I don't even know what I said. You know, just, you know, hanging out, watching a movie maybe, or watching TV. I don't know what I was doing at the time or replied with, but he was like, starting to ask me personal questions. So he was like, what type of music are you into? You know, what, like basically like, what are your deep, dark secrets? Like, do you want to date kind of stuff? So I was like really put off, and then all of a sudden it started to escalate. He was like, do you have a boyfriend? And I'm like, yeah, actually I do have a boyfriend. He's like, oh, well, he's just a boyfriend. It's not like you're engaged. Oh, like, it's like I'm still on the market even though I'm not. Excuse me? I couldn't believe that, like, he said that, and he's my freaking manager. Like, do you know what you're saying right now? Do you hear yourself? Like, you could lose your job over this. I was like, all right, well, I'm super flattered that you're interested in me. He was like, yeah, he was like, I was asking the other manager guy, the one I'm friends with, and we actually dated for a very short period of time, but he didn't know that. But he was like asking, he was like, is Sherry available? And the guy was like, look, she's like seeing someone, like, I even tried to date her, didn't work out, she's seeing this other guy, and they've been together for like literally 2 years, so he was like, don't even like waste your time. Anyway, he was like already asking about me to other people, and he was like obviously already texting me with weird intentions, even though he knew I had a boyfriend, so that obviously wasn't the issue for him. That didn't scare him off, that was kind of like a challenge. So he texted me and he goes, well, I'm not gonna stop until you have a ring on your finger. Listen here, dude. I'm like, I don't know how, I forget how I like responded exactly, but I was like, well, first thing I'm gonna, you know, tell like the manager over you exactly what you said, and I have texts to show her. Like, there is evidence right here. Like, dude, do you want to lose your job? This is sexual harassment. I told you to stop. You should not have been saying things like that in the first place. It doesn't even matter if we're not in the workplace. Like, that was so uncalled for. So the very next day I go in and I'm like, hey, so-and-so, you know, the manager who is over him. So we'll call him Jeffrey. Jeffrey, even though we're like at the end of the story. So Jeffrey, you know, texted me all this inappropriate stuff. So like, I don't care if you have a boyfriend. I don't care until you have like a ring on your finger. I'm not gonna stop like asking you, I guess he was saying, like asking to date you or like bothering you about it. I'm like, I don't feel comfortable working with him. Like, if he is gonna be this pushy, like I don't trust him. Like, that's really creepy and that's not okay. So she was like, I'll fire him. Oh damn, okay. Ugh. Is this gonna like get back to like he's gonna know that it's me? And I was like starting to freak out, and she's like, no, don't even worry about it. It's fine. Like, you did the right thing. Like, she's like, I'm so glad you spoke up. She's like, he kind of gave me weird vibes. Honestly, to begin with, she was like, I kind of didn't like working with him, but she was like, there's no other reason I need to fire him. She was like, that's not acceptable. She saw some of the texts that he sent me. She was like, yeah, he's done. So that is it. I got a guy fired. He was super creepy, and you know, I'm sure he got another job in food biz because they don't even like do background checks, guys. Like, you could lie and say anything you want and still get like a food service job. But I'm not sure if it's different with a managerial position. Maybe they have more requirements. Maybe he just screwed over his future for a little bit, but I'm sure he bounced back. But yeah, that was super creepy, and I did not expect to get someone fired, especially like, even though, you know, like I just like left the place like 3 months later because I was moving anyway. But I mean, if it wasn't me, it might have been someone else, so maybe I helped someone else in the process, you know? Like, he was a scumbag. He didn't deserve to have a job like that and like go around talking to people any way that he felt like. Like, have some respect, you know what I mean? Especially if you're my manager, like, that's just unacceptable. So I hope this is entertaining for you guys. If you want more story times, definitely let me know down below in the comments. Give this a thumbs up because that really helps me out. And I love you guys until I see you in my next video. Bye.